Here's my supervisor, hard at work. She's supposed to be watching me. She's supposed to be telling me what to do, but no. There she goes. She's just off over there. Momi, you know, she's out there. She doesn't really want to help me. That's fine. I don't need her help anyways. This is a one-man show. What on earth is going on here? What am I going to be doing? Oh, I got my nail bag out, my knee pad, masking tape. Look at all this different masking tape. And a box there. Kaboom. What is that anyways? Oh, it's clear, 12 feet wide by 400 feet long. I don't need 400 feet. And this is painter's plastic. See there? Painter's plastic. This stuff is really thin too. 0.31 millimeters, I guess that is. And I didn't really need that much, and I thought, nah, I'm not going to get that. I wasn't going to get this because I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money. That was about 25 bucks. That wasn't that bad. And see, my ceiling from floor to ceiling is 9 feet. And the reason why I need that plastic and everything, we're going to start tearing this countertop out. And this countertop, as you will recall, if you've been watching my videos, this is tile. And it probably looked good 15 years ago when it was built, right? And see, it's got a layer of concrete underneath it, and then there's chicken wire underneath that, I'm sure. There's building paper underneath that, I'm sure. And then there's plywood. And that plywood is nailed over the top of the countertops. Across over here, we've got a cast iron sink. I'm going to have to disconnect that, get that out of there. And I'm going to show you all that. And the reason why I need this plastic is because I'm going to put a barricade up. I'm going to put a barricade across here. I think about right in here, straight up to the ceiling, attached to the floor here, going across. And going across over there, I'm going to put a split in the plastic. Then I'm going to put another piece of plastic on the outside of that. So when I go in and out, I'm protecting the rest of this area for the dust and everything. Okay, you'll see. And so anyways, they have 9 foot by 400 foot plastic, but that wasn't enough because these ceilings are exactly 9 feet. And I didn't want to put the masking tape up there and then put a piece of masking tape down here and stretch that plastic and cross my fingers that I had enough room for that. And so I thought, I'll just get the 12 foot, and that way I've got plenty. When I can cut off the end of that and I can use the excess for something else. And like I said, I wasn't really going to get 400 feet. I thought, I'll go to the store and see what they have, because I needed about 30 feet. There's about 12 feet this way, 12 feet that way. And then I need some extra on there. And then I'm going to put some plastic over the top front of the cabinets and on the bottom of the cabinets, just so they don't get all dusty and everything. I mean, and then plus when you start beating this stuff off of here, when it chips, it's like little razor shards. And if they go over and hit the cabinets, they could mark the cabinets, scratch the cabinets, all that. Of course, I'm not going to leave the refrigerator there. I'm going to slide the refrigerator over here. I don't want any marks on that either. And so when I went to the store, I thought maybe I can get something that's 20 by 20, cut it and get a couple different pieces and cut it and tape it together and all that kind of stuff. But the only stuff they had was 7 mil. Or 0.7 mil, which is twice as thick as this, and it wasn't the right lengths, and it was like $7 a roll, and I was probably going to have to get 3 different ones of that, and that would be like 21 bucks just for that type of plastic. And for an extra $4, I could get 400 feet of this 12 foot. Now granted, I don't use this all the time, but this is really good. Like if you're doing popcorn ceilings or something, you want to protect the walls or something and the floors, man, that stuff, that'll go all day long. Or if you're painting the inside of your house and you're using a spray gun, I've seen painters, they use that and then they'll drape the entire floor out with this type of plastic. It doesn't need to be any thicker than that. Okay, so I'm going to use that plastic, and I'm going to try to be on the skimp side here. I've got a little bit of the blue tape. Obviously, the blue tape is better than regular masking tape. I'm going to have that plastic up for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, maybe less. As soon as I get this all done and get it all swept up and everything, then I'm going to take the plastic down, because I don't want to keep the plastic on this ceiling any longer than I have to. Now this was a painted ceiling. I painted it quite, maybe 3 months ago, and 2 coats of flat white ceiling paint. And the last thing I want to do is put masking tape up there and leave the masking tape too long, and then have it, when I pull the masking tape off, have it pull some of the paint off. I mean, if it does, I'll have to, I've got plenty of white ceiling paint, but that's why I think I'm going to use the blue masking tape on the ceiling, and I'll use the regular masking tape down on the floor, and when I'm masking off the cabinets and that kind of stuff. Okay, and masking tape, it's not cheap anymore. This is like 1.5 inches, and that was about $3. One roll of this blue is like $6.50. Are you kidding me? The 1.5 inches, which is 1.41 inches. I don't know why they do that. This is 1.4 inches. You see there? 1.4, right there. 1.41. And if I was going to use a whole lot of this masking tape, I might not even use this roll. I'm going to use this stuff first. If I don't get into this, then I could always take it back to the store, can't I? But if I was going to use a whole lot, if I was doing a whole painting all of this and wanting to use a whole lot of masking tape, you can get this in 6-packs. If you get a 6-pack, obviously it's cheaper than buying 6 individual rolls of masking tape. Same with the blue tape. The blue, $6.50 a roll. Maybe you can buy it for about $5 a roll if you buy it in a 6-pack. That's still, man, $30 for 6 pieces, 6 rolls of this stuff. Are you crazy? So anyways, that's my project. I'm going to make a whole ton of videos. I'm not going to show you every single little thing, but once I get started, I'll show you how the plastic looks when it's up and stuff. And I've also got to protect this floor. This floor is a brand new floor. It's the, what do you call it? The vinyl flooring. Okay, so I'm gonna move this, and I'm gonna put paper down on here. Normally I use craft paper, but I'm not gonna use craft paper this time. I'm gonna use a little bit heavier product, and then I'm gonna probably leave it down. I'm going to leave it down through this whole area in here, because when the guys come here to install the counters, I'm going to leave that down. That'll protect the floor and the wear, them going back and forth. Plus I've got a washer and dryer coming in here in a few days. I've got the stove coming in here later on down the road, a new refrigerator down the road, a new dishwasher down the road, a new microwave down the road, and all that kind of stuff. So that flooring, let me show you that. I think I have some. I think it's out here. Let's just see. Yes, it's here. It's right. Get that out. I'm going to get that out, and I'll show you it. But it's thick. It's not exactly like cardboard. It's thin, but it's dense. And that roll was like $35 just for that roll. And like I said, I usually use craft paper, and I got some craft paper over there in the corner. It's back behind that, but I don't think I'm really going to use much of that. I could put that over the fronts of the cabinet doors and stuff if I thought the other plastic was too thin, and if I'm hitting on the plastic very much with the tiles, it could rip the plastic. But I don't know. I think it'll be okay to run this with plastic over the front, or if I decide, I'll talk to Momi. I don't think we're gonna use these cabinets at all when I've got this plastic in here. Okay, so I'll show you that in a minute. So I'm gonna make a whole video series in this condo renovation. This, who knows what episode this is, okay? But this is going to be I don't know, a 6 or 7 parter, you know, on how to take out these counters. When's the last time I took a counter out like this? Probably, let's see, 40 years ago? 40 years ago, taking something like this out. When I first started getting into the building construction, we were demoing, and of course back then it was Formica countertops, and a couple times we had to take out counters kind of like this with the chicken wire and the concrete underneath it and stuff like that. And so, you know what, if I can do this, and I haven't done it for 40 years, mind you, I don't know how hard it's going to be, and all that kind of stuff, but you know, hey, one little bit at a time, and the countertops aren't going to come until next Monday, and today's Tuesday. That's why I'm starting now, in case it takes me a little bit longer than I thought. I want to have plenty of time getting this stuff out, because the other thing I got is I've got to take these pieces out, the backsplash up against the wall. That's going to be kind of tricky too, because sometimes when you pull that out, it might pull the backside of the sheetrock out. I've got a little trick. I think I'm going to try when I take this out. If I had a roto hammer with a roto hammer drill bit, I could drill some holes in there, and then it would crack this, and then you could take it out in bits and pieces. But I don't have a roto hammer drill anymore, and I'm not going to get one just to take out this little section of backsplash. I'm going to try something different, and hopefully I can get it out with not making too much of gouges and stuff on the backside of this. But you know, if I make some holes in through the sheetrock after I pull this up, I'm going to have to patch that and put some Quickset on there, put some webbing tape on there and all that kind of stuff, because eventually what I'm going to do there is put a backsplash, tile backsplash up against, you know, where the new countertop's going to be. We're going to put a quartz countertop in here, and it's going to be a little bit lower than the height of this, because this is 3/8 and 1 1/4 inch of the concrete underneath this, and then probably 3/4 inch plywood, and that the counter is only about 1 3/8 inches thick, and so it's going to be a little bit lower than this. And I thought, hey, let's just redo this backsplash. So the backsplash is probably going to come up. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it here, because it's going to go up to the bottom of the cabinets, and it's going to go to the bottom of the new microwave after we get the new microwave installed, and it's going to go down below where the stove's going to be, and then it's going to go across over to that edge. Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm going to take this up to here and then across, or if it's going to maintain about this height and then up there. Well, we'll just have to see. You know, I'm thinking it might look better going up, so that both of these, this electrical outlet and this blank plate, I put a blank plate there because there was an old telephone jack there, and I didn't want to see the telephone jack. We're not using that wiring in the house anymore, and so I don't need that, so I put a blank plate. But do I want the blank plate in this electrical outlet in the sheetrock wall, and then the tile come up this way with that in the tile, those two plugs in the tile? Or do I want these two in the tile too? If I do, then this has to go up to no man's land, because there's no cabinets over here, and go straight across. So I'm not quite sure. Might have to talk to a tile guy and see what they suggest. It might be best to come up, across, and up over there. We'll see. Okay, so thanks for joining me, and that's what my videos are going to be about for these different videos coming up. Okay, I hope you watch it, because you know what, I'm thinking you're learning quite a bit by watching these videos of this condo renovation, and this is just part of it. It doesn't have to be in a condo. It can be a house, it can be a rental, it can be a flopper, or you know, something that you're changing out for yourself or whatever. I think if you watch these videos, you're going to learn more. Hey, the more you watch, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you save. All right, enough of that. It's time for me to get busy. Well, what am I going to talk about next time? Well, It might, yes, it's probably going to have something to do with the nail bag. And it's not going to have anything to do with that plastic. And it's not going to have anything to do with this masking. Well, yes, it will have something to do with the masking tape. You see that nice quarter round trim at the bottom of the baseboard? Doesn't that look nice and finished now? Well, it didn't look like that before. That's what you're going to learn how to install. And I'm just showing you now how it looks after it gets installed. If you install it properly and stuff, it's going to look all nice around there. It's going to look all tight. Do you see any cracks along the edge of the baseboard and the top of the quarter round? No, of course you don't, because I installed it the proper and correct way. Here's the bathroom. Doesn't that look nice? That covers up all the imperfections underneath the baseboard, and where this flooring went underneath the baseboard, we have that crack there and all that kind of stuff. And this is a free floating floor, so I could not attach any of this quarter round to this floor. You cannot do that. You can't nail it, you can't glue it, you can't do anything to this floor if it's a free floating floor. So make sure you check that out before you just start nailing your quarter round trim down, or you have somebody with a nail gun just angling it down at an angle and hitting your floor, let's say. Okay? So you're going to learn that coming up.